Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Am I audible? Now I might be audible a bit louder. Yes. Yes, starting. So let's get started with the first question before moving towards first question. Today, how was your paper? How did you perform? What kind of mistakes you analyze? Whether you analyze your mistakes or not. Also, let me know that. Today was your paper, total 200 questions, right? I will be dealing with your Sutics and Juris part. We'll be completing Sutics and Juris, and then further subjects will be taken accordingly. How was your paper? I just want to know very first thing from you guys is how was your paper? Whether you were able to perform to the level you thought of, or you analyzed there were several mistakes. Have you improved upon those mistakes? Yes, no. Be active. You are going to be the future drug inspector, and drug inspector is somebody who is very active in his life on the field. At the end, they are the field workers. You people are not even telling any word in the session, then how it will work? Yes, you people just need answer or what? Okay, so let it be. It's your choice. Today we'll start sharply at 6 p.m. Bit late. We'll start one by one. The very first unit, 20 question from Sutix dispensing. You could take it as okay. The very first question. The very first question was the pharmacy education in India as a university level program started in 1937 at. This was the very first question in your paper. It was Delhi University, it was University of Madras, it was BHU, or it was Patna University. Although the slides got changed, don't worry. So we know that it was BHU, Banaras Hindu University. Who started? Professor Emil Shroff. He was the one who pioneered the Professor Emil Shroff was the one who pioneered the education, pharma education in India. Right? Next, headquarter of Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission is where it is located. Very simple, straightforward question getting asked. Where it was located? Headquarters of Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, Ghaziabad, Hyderabad, Delhi, Gandhinagar. Yes. Option A, Ghaziabad is the place where the headquarter of Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission is located. Please be very careful whenever the word Ghazipur is coming. Sometimes our human psychology work in opposite way. So if suppose it was Ghazipur, Ghaziabad, then don't get confused. Ghazipur and 𝘂𝙧 are two places where the NDPS substances are getting manufactured, narcotic substances. So that is a different case. Here they are asking about Ghaziabad. So be very attentive and careful while attending the questions. Next question. The strength of 95% volume by volume alcohol in terms of proof spirit is how much? What formula you used for proof spirit? It was very simple question. For proof spirit, what we are doing? We are multiplying the given strength with 1.753. Then minus it out by 100, right? Was this the formula? Multiplication and then subtracting it from 100 will get one value. The answer is overproof or underproof. If the value is positive, then that is overproof. If the value is negative, then that is underproof. If the value is positive, overproof. If the value is negative, underproof. Yes, option A is our correct answer. You must have got the value in positive. 66.53 degree. Simply what you need to do, multiply 95 by 1.753 and then the whole number which you will be getting, minus it out by 100, you will get 66.53 degree and it's over. Okay. Next question. This is the next question. In context of dosage calculation for children, what is the formula for calculation of child dose for children which belongs to the age 2 to 12 years as per the Young's rule? They are telling Young's formula. We have done this on the YouTube classes itself. Yes. Option A, option B, option C or option D. A is correct answer. This is Young's formula. That is correct. Can you people let me know this formula is for which category? The last formula is for which category people? The last formula for the dose calculation of, this is the formula. What this formula is known as? We have seen several formulas. Young's formulas, �々formulas, Clark's formulas and so on. This formula is for what purpose? I need to know that answer. You people, given the test, you people saw the answer. Correct. But what about this? Very nice, Mohammed. Fright's formula. It is Fright's formula. And Fright's formula is used for calculation of infants. Dose calculation for infants. Okay. So be very attentive. Next, your model paper 2. When is your model paper 2? Similarly, the model paper 1 which we just completed today, on similar basis, we have model paper number 2. The very first part is, remember the code to enter in this model paper. Even if you have not done today's session, you have one more chance. Enter GDC DI code into the batches. You will get entered into the batches, right? Paper 1 is the non-pharma syllabus. Paper 2 is the pharma syllabus. This non-pharma will start from today. The test timing is 9 PM at the night, in the evening. And the explanation part is tomorrow 10 AM. Explanation part tomorrow 10 AM on the YouTube channel. And the next thing, pharma, tomorrow 8 AM you have to give this particular paper. Explanation, same time 6 PM in the evening. Okay. This was the answer. Next. The particle size of the suspended drug particle in suspension should be in the range of 0.5 to 5 microns, below 5 microns, 0.5 microns, above 5 microns and 1 to 2 microns. Suspended drug particle. So they are asking, what should be the range of particle size in suspension? What should be the range of particle size in suspension? If you know this, good, very good. If you don't know this, you need to improve yourself. Very nice. The range is 0.5 to 5 micron. If the range get higher, then sedimentation could occur. Alright. If the range gets smaller, it might get dispersed very properly. So not too small, not too large. This range of 0.5 to 5 micron is the appropriate one. Next question. Caking of the suspension is observed in flocculated suspension, deflocculated, partially flocculated, none of the above. Caking is seen where? Where you can see. Caking is the phenomena where it is very difficult to redisperse settled particle. Difficult to redisperse the settled particle. And this will be seen in deflocculated suspension. Deflocculated suspension exists as a tiny individual entity. When they form cake, they form very hard cake, which is very difficult to redisperse. And when I talk about flocculated suspension, they forms very loose flocks or cake, which is very easy to redisperse. Okay. Next, the relationship between pH of the environment, pK of the drug, and extent of ionization is given by Fick's law, law of mass action, 𝘂𝙂𝙎𝑃𝑔 equation, and Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. Fick's law for diffusion. Let law of mass action not the correct answer. 𝘂𝙂𝙎𝑃𝑔 equation for dissolution. We are left with option D, Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, and this equation is associated with pH 3. Okay. Next, increase in solubility of a drug in water in presence of additives is known as dissolution, co-solvency, solubilization, hydrotropy. What do you think? Dissolution is the phenomena where the drug particles is getting dissolved into the medium. Dissolution is not the correct answer. When I talk about co-solvency, there is the addition of co-solvent here. So whenever the addition of co-solvent to increase the solubility, co-solvency. Whenever there is an addition of surfactant or surface active agent to increase the solubility, that is solubilization. And here the key word here given is additive. And because of this word additive, option D, hydrotropy, is the correct answer, because here is the addition of additives to increase the solubility of the drug. Okay, I have cleared all these 4 phenomena. Next, one of the following is used as solubilizing agent to solubilize testosterone in pharmaceutical liquid dosage form: sucrose monoester, lanolin ester, lanolin ether, and twins. Spans, twins, solubilizing agent they are talking about. You have to check the HLB range. In HLB range, you find the spans and twins in the higher range, lower range. The higher the level in HLB range, more hydrophilic is that particular agent, right? So solubilizing agent is which have a higher HLB range. Solubilizing agent are one which has a higher HLB range, and here when you see that particular table, you will find twins in the higher HLB range, and hence option D will be our correct answer. Correct. Which of the following conventional tablet excipient is typically excluded or not required in formulation of chewable tablet? Diluent, flavoring agent, disintegrant, sweetening agent. No need to wait here whether disintegrant is required, not required, because the natural disintegrating machine, that is our teeth. It is a natural disintegrating machine we have, which is acting to break down the tablet. So in chewable tablet, disintegrant is not required. Next, which one of the following is used as vulcanizing agent for rubber? In packaging chapter, you must have seen this. In packaging chapter, zinc oxide, sulfur, calcium carbonate, or zinc sulfate. Which one? Yes, Sriram. Sriram is there, Vishnu is there. Every deity is present in my session. I am blessed. Yes. Sulfur, very nice. Sulfur is the correct answer. Which of the following is used as a measure of the potential tablet behavior during handling and packaging? Measure of a potential tablet behavior during handling. That means we need to check whether the tablet can handle the packaging or during transportation. So this is checked through friability test. Yes, whether it is getting breaking, whether it is getting broken while transportation, all this can be checked using friabilator. Rush friabilator is the instrument which we are using. 100 cycles are there, 25 RPM, 4 minutes. We all know this. For tablet made by direct compression powder filled capsule, the dissolution apparatus mostly preferred is paddle, basket, paddle over disc, reciprocating holder apparatus. Which one? For tablet for direct compression. If is it direct compression or simply a powder filled capsule, it is paddle apparatus. Next question. For sterile dosage form packaging, the rubber closure are washed with the heat solution of 0.9% sodium chloride, 0.5% sodium pyrophosphate, 0.5% sodium sulfate, 0.5% alcohol. Sterile dosage form packaging, the rubber closure are washed with heat solution of yes, 0.5% of sodium pyrophosphate is the correct answer. Correct. Now, according to the British Pharmacopoeia, standard sieve number 85, through which all particle must pass, are graded as coarse, moderately fine powder, very fine powder, fine powder. Sieve number 85. The more higher the sieve number, the lesser the particle size, right? This is the opposite relation or inverse relation which is happening. Now here if it is passing through sieve number 85, this is the fine powder. Okay, this comes under the category of fine powder. Which of the following uses iteration only? The principle of iteration only. Ball mill, roller mill, tube mill, fluid energy mill. Only iteration. All this principle, everything is there in your modules and whatever thing you must have referred for the preparation. Yes, very fine, 120. Roller, very nice. Exactly correct. In the roller mill, the principle of iteration is followed. A plasticizer and high boiling point solvent used in the preparation of nail lacquer are. You have to find out one plasticizer and you have to find out one high boiling point solvent. So which one are there? Butyl stearate, ethyl lactate, ethyl alcohol, acetone. So one plasticizer and high boiling point solvent. Butyl stearate and ethyl lactate is our correct answer. Both of them. Okay. Butyl stearate and ethyl lactate. Impact and attrition for ball mill and fluidized fluid energy mill kind of. And the next is only impact. Hammer. है ना? Correct? Which ingredient is commonly added to nail polish for pearl sense appearance? Titanium dioxide, guanine, fish scale and bismuth oxychloride. Very easy questions. They are this, all of them is direct questions. Have you seen roller? It is not impact. Impact is certain pressure when you are applying, that is impact. Roller is kind of just rolling. It is attrition only. Yes, pearls and appearance by bismuth oxychloride. Bismuth oxychloride. Next question. Consider the following statement regarding bioavailability, relative bioavailability. Now, relative bioavailability compares the systemic availability of one oral dosage form with the oral standard. Yes, is it correct? Yes, this is correct. The oral standard may be aqueous or non-aqueous solution. That is also correct. The relative bioavailability is represented by FR. Accurate? Yes, it is accurate. And relative bioavailability is generally expressed in percentage format. This is also correct. So all the four statements are correct. Okay, nothing as such wrong in it. Which of the following, for this question I might move here. Look what it is telling. Which of the following statement regarding bioavailability study in patient is incorrect? You need to find the incorrect one. They provide information about drug absorption in disease state. They may better reflect the therapeutic efficacy of drug. They avoid the ethical dilemma of exposing healthy volunteer to a drug. They completely eliminate the pharmacokinetic variability among subjects. The pharmacokinetic variability, how can somebody or some bioavailability study can this be changing? Bioavailability studies is generally used to provide information of drug absorption, therapeutic efficacy, right? Even whether we will get to know whether we have to expose the healthy volunteer or not. So okay, so this dilemma is also avoided. The only thing, they cannot completely eliminate this pharmacokinetic bioavailability among all the subjects. There are thousands and thousands of people with different kinetic profiles. Every profile must not be checked. Okay, this is impossible. So option D. Incorrect. Next question. Now see, here the calculation part you must have did, so I will not be doing that in this portion. Okay, so let us start. Here your biopharmaceutical calculation part works. So if the plasma concentration of 𝙂𝙂𝘼𝙏 is in after IV bolus administration was found to be 10 and 5.5 mcg per ml at 2 and 4 hours respectively, assuming one compartment kinetic, calculate the total systemic clearance. This is kind of very big calculation. If you have did it, very nice. If you didn't do it, no need to spend so much time beside this. Okay, you can try to find out how to solve this, but still, if you want, I can give the explanation is there with me in my phone. But still, understood? Anybody wanted the explanation? It is so much big. First, we'll find out the elimination rate constant, then initial plasma concentration, then total systemic clearance. There are 3 steps to be followed, and here the correct answer will be option B, the C, 82.2 ml per minute. Okay. The next 70 kg patient, again this is again your biopharmaceutical calculation. 70 kg patient is to be given Obain by IV infusion. The drug has half-life of 22 hours. Apparent VD is 15.7 liters. And the desired steady state plasma concentration is 0.0002 mcg per ml. Assuming one compartment kinetic, calculate the time required to reach 90% of Syllabus. Here the correct answer is 73 hours. Okay. Now if the steady state plasma concentration, which is Syllabus, is directly proportional to the dose, the kinetics is non-linear, zero order, linear and saturable. Steady state plasma concentration directly proportional to dose, then the kinetic will be directly proportional, then the kinetic is always linear. Understood? If something is directly proportional, the kinetic will show linear graph. Next, which tool is commonly used in QBD for systemic experimentation to understand the effect of factors on response? Pareto chart, design of experiments, standard operating procedure and batch record. Commonly used in the quality by design factor. This is the design of experiment chart. Okay, the name itself has the quality design, QBD, quality by design something. So the name has design in it. Option B here is our correct answer. Next, DASH is a system for ensuring that drug products are consistently produced and controlled according to quality standards. GCP, GLP, GMP, GDP. Simple. What it is? Good manufacturing practices. Good manufacturing practices to be applied so that we can get a consistent quality product every time in every cycle. Which inventory rotation principle prioritize product by expiry date rather than receipt date? Okay. So based on expiry, the product will get out first and then the new product. We are not considering the new product. We are first considering the expiry. So even if I am getting today product which has expiry of tomorrow, a hypothetical case. So I will first sell this product which I just got today. So it is first expiry, first out. FIFO method, first expiry, first out method. Okay. ISO 14000 is primarily concerned with one or more of the following event. Whenever ISO 14000 is there, they are talking about environmental safety. ISO 14000 coming, then they are talking about environmental safety. Which Six Sigma methodology is primarily used to improve an existing process? What is this? Do, measure, analyze and control. DMAC strategy is there. So option B here is correct answer. Six Sigma methodology. This all term you can see in your quality assurance topic. These are from all quality assurance topic been asked. The primary focus of total quality management, TQM, the short form is TQM, is what? Maximizing the profit, customer satisfaction, reducing workforce and increasing the inspection. What quality aspect we are focusing upon? So what is our primary purpose based on quality? We want the customer satisfaction. Customer should get satisfied with our product. That is what our whole and sole basis is. Next, OTC preparation are what are the OTC preparation? The medication that can be obtained from hospital only, from an hospital pharmacy department, no. Medication that can be purchased without the prescription, yes. Medication that can be only purchased from the pharmacy, only be purchased from a pharmacy, no. And medication that can be purchased directly by patient from the manufacturer, no. OTC is that without prescription you can take this medication, is OTC. So if any drug is not there in schedule H, that is prescription category, it automatically becomes OTC category. What does VED analysis classify inventory based on? Cost of item, critical nature of item, lead time and storage method. VED full form is vital, essential, desirable. Right? Now, one thing is vital or essential, it depends on the critical nature of the item. Right? It depends on the critical nature of the item. If I talk about cost of the item, we have ABC analysis. When I talk about critical nature of item, then vital, essential, VED analysis comes to picture. A new drug system, delivery system which is composed of phospholipid that can spontaneously form a multi-laminar concentric bilayer vesicle with layer of aqueous media separating lipid bilayer is prodrug, ligosome, osmotic pump and nanoparticle. Simply, the keywords are concentric bilayer vesicles, phospholipids, like this. Yes, you must have seen this. This is how it is. The core is there. These are the bilayers. Drug can get incorporated inside it. This is the liposome. Yes, liposome is our correct answer. This again, slide got changed. Highly branched 3D macromolecule with controlled structure with all bond originating from the central core or the bond originating from the central core. This is how it is. Okay. What it is known as? It is known as dendrimers. Dendrimers. The precursor used in the production of vitamin B12 by fermentation is MgCl2, CaCl2, CoCl2, CuCl2. Yes, tell me. The precursor used in the production of good evening. Precursor used for vitamin B12. Precursor Cobalt chloride is option C is our correct answer. Cobalt chloride, correct. All human blood is stored at minus 20 degrees Celsius, 8 to 10, 2 to 80 degrees Celsius. All human blood is stored at yes, correct, 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, the same as that of insulin. Last 30 questions from jurisprudence part will be doing it and completing my part. Then the next part will be continued by the other faculty. Okay. The very first question in front of you is, let me give to a side. Which side? A side, whatever. Which body is empowered to make education regulations prescribing minimum standard of education required for qualification as a pharmacist? PCI, State Pharmacy Council, UGC or AICTE? Who is empowered? See 36? Correct. Option A. PCI is empowered for this. PCI, correct. Ex officio member of Pharmacy Council of India is, who is the ex officio member of PCI? There are 3 ex officio members. Remember which one of them is here given. President of PCI, President of MCI, the Director of CRI, Central Research Institute, and the Director of CDL. Who is the ex officio member? Who is the ex officio member? Option D, very nice, the Director of CDL. Next, printing of register on the dash every year. Each state council is required to supply dash copy of its register. We know there should be supply of 5 copies. So, option C and D will not be the correct answer. So, 5 copies, 5 copies. But what is the date? 1st of April. 1st of April is our correct answer. 1st April and 5 copies. Don't do wrong in this, right? These are very simple questions. Please make it correct. Absolutely correct. Next, if a drug consists any filthy, putrid, decomposed substance kept under insanitary condition, container is composed of any poisonous substance, it contains any harmful or toxic substance which is injurious to health, such a drug are called as which branded? Adulterated, furious, or all of the above. Simply, this is the definition of adulterated drug. Correct. The names of the authoritative book of Ayurveda Siddha Unani given in first schedule of DNC, second schedule of DNC, schedule T, part 14, 16 of DNC rules. What would be the correct answer? Yes. Option? First schedule. First schedule is our correct answer. Correct. Specific requirement for manufacturing of sterile product and parenteral preparation prescribed in which part of Schedule M? Schedule M has part 1. In that it is further divided from A, B, C, D till E. The sterile product is given in part 1A. The solid dosage form is given in B. The liquid C. The topical in D. So this is how the categorization is. Yes. Read it. Answer. The drug specified under which of the following schedule will not be sold by the retail except on or in accordance with the prescription. They are asking which of the following cannot be given without prescription. Which of the following cannot be sold without prescription? That means prescription is required. Prescription is required. Do we require prescription for Schedule H? Yes. For H1, yes. We required for 3 and 4. So wherever 3 and 4 is there, that will to definitely come. Right? So C gone. Now W we don't require. So 5 is gone, 5 is gone. Option A becomes automatically correct. Option A becomes automatically correct. Biological and biotechnological products are listed in schedule. Which schedule? Biological and biotechnological products are listed in which schedule? C and C1. According to Schedule U of the particular shown in the manufacturing record for the substances other than parenteral, what all records can be shown? What kind of records will be shown? Answer please. What kind of records will be shown? Yes, all of them. Option D is correct answer. The functions of the CDL in respect to the classes of the drug are listed below. What it is listed: laboratory in respect to the blood grouping, diagnostic kit for hepatitis B, C. It is in the National Institute of Biologics, Noida. Laboratory with respect to BDRL, syphilis, it is Pasteur Institute for this is Gurong, Pasteur Institute for polio. Right? So Q is definitely incorrect. Next is Indian Veterinary Research Institute is in 𝘎𝙀𝙀. Incorrect. R is also gone. We are left with option C. C is correct answer. P and S. Right? The DTAP consists of which of the following members? Who are the members of the DTAP? President of MCI, Director of CDL Kolkata, the President of PCI. Are they all the members? They are not asking you whether elected, ex officio, nothing has been asked. They are simply asking you whether member or not. All of them are member, yes. Option D, correct. Every record, register or other document seized by drug inspector under clause CE or CCA of section 22 of Drug and Cosmetic Act shall be returned to a person within how many days? Every record, register, document which is seized to be returned by drug inspector to the front authority, the person from whom it is taken, within 20 days. You have time period of 20 days only. I'll just come turning on the light. You answer this till that time. My part is still 65 question, okay? Yes, I'm back. Wait a minute. Okay. So here they are asking, what they are asking? Government Analyst for Ayurveda Siddha Unani, section 33F. We did it. Next, application for permission to import, manufacture new drug for to undertake clinical trial will be given in which form? Form 45, 44, 46, 48. Which form? Yes. 44. Next question. An import license, unless it is sooner suspended or cancelled, shall be valid for the period of dash year from the date of issue. 5 year, 3 year, 10 year, 15 years. So import license is valid for 5 years, 3 years, 10 year, 15 year. 10 and 15 will not be the case, we know that. Either it will be 5 or 3. Now here the import license is for 3. नरेश पूछ रहे हो, बता रहे हो, अब तक नहीं आया. Under which rule of Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 and Rule 1945 licenses for blood bank are issued? Under which rule the licenses for blood bank are issued? 122G, 122A, 160B, 150B. Yes, 33G for the reference. नहीं नरेश, इतने जल्दी कहाँ आने देंगे. One 122 G is our correct answer. Correct. Application for the manufacturing of cosmetic for sale and distribution is required to be made to state licensing authority in which form? Form cos 3, cos 5, cos 6, cos 7. Talking about application for the manufacturing. Application for the manufacturing. Cos 5 is correct answer. According to NDPS Act, opium derivative means all the preparation containing more than 0.2% of morphine. If it is containing more than 0.2% of morphine, then they are opium derivative. Correct? The manufacturing, possession, transport, import, interstate export, sale, purchase, consumption of which of the following drug is prohibited? Metcatinone, triazolam, nitrazepam, none of the above. You must have seen doctors are even giving prescription for triazolam, nitrazepam, so on. So if it has been prohibited, then they must have not written it. But if it is written, that means it is not prohibited. So these are there. None of the above is not the correct answer. Metcatinone is prohibited. Okay. Next, cultivation of poppy seed is taken only in the area notified by the central government in 3 states. The 3 states are Rajasthan, MP and UP. Okay, Rajasthan, MP and UP is those 3 states where the cultivation of poppy seed will happen. Section 27 of the NDPS Act deals with all the punishment. But punishment for what? Punishment for allowing premises to be used for commission of offence, punishment for consumption of any narcotic drug, punishment for certain act by licensee or his servant, punishment for financing the illicit traffic. Now the section 27 specifically deal with the punishment if you are consuming the narcotic. That means if you are taking the drugs, you will be punished under section 27 of the NDPS Act. Next, advertisement for the drug claiming cure for diseases prohibited for the following diseases except. For which disease it is not prohibited? For cancer prohibited, for malaria prohibited, for HIV prohibited, for cough and cold not prohibited. So option D, eliminated, hence our correct answer. Next, question number 58. The violation of any provision of Drug and Magic Remedy Act is punishable with. What is the punishment? What is the punishment here? 3 months, 6 months, 2 year, 3 year. Guesses, any guesses, ideas? Correct. 6 months or 5 or both. While fixing a ceiling price for scheduled formulation and retail price of new drug, what percent of margin to retailer to be stored? 12, 16, 20 or 10%? We dealt with it. This is 16% of margin. How much? 16% margin. Ceiling price of the scheduled formulation is calculated by this particular formula. Right? What is this? PS means what? Price of the highest paid formulation, average price to retailer, margin to retailer, MRP. It is PS means PS signifies average price to retailer. Option B is our correct answer. Last 5 questions. Any gazetted officer of the central government or of a state government, as the case may be, authorized by the general or special order by central government or by state government, as the case may be, in this behalf, may with the view to secure the compliance with the DPCO order or to satisfy himself that the provision of this order has been complied with. What he can do? Any gazetted officer is authorized to enter and search any place, seize any document if he has a reason to believe that the offence is committed or offence is being committed. In both the cases, this is applicable. The medical devices shall conform to the standard laid down by shall conform to the standard. Who laid down the standard for the medical devices? You, me, I, who? Yes. WHO, US FDA will not find the answer here. The correct answer is option D, 3 and 4 only. Okay. According to cosmetic rules of 2020, which substance is prohibited in imported cosmetic? Chlorhexidine, hexachlorophene, benzoyl peroxide sorbic acid. Which is prohibited? 63A, 63B, 63C or 63D. Correct. Hexachlorophene is prohibited. Second last question. Under the new drug and clinical trial rule of 2019, for what period is the registration of an ethics committee granted by the Central Licensing Authority unless suspended or cancelled earlier? What period the ethics committee will get the registration for? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Anybody here can answer this? For how many years? Till the time you answer, how many? Correct. 5 years. For 5 years. Last question. Which application form for grant of permission to conduct a clinical trial for new drug or investigational new drug you will give? The application form in CT01, CT04, CT06 and CT12. There are certain important forms. Please do these 3 forms. Which are those 3 forms? I am telling you. One is CT06. What is CT06? Check. One is CT10 and one is CT16. These 3 forms you should remember what it is. Okay? High probability that if they wanted to ask, they can ask one of them also. Here, the correct answer is CT04. But along with this, you will do CT06, CT10, CT16. All these 3 to be done. Okay? So here we finish our part. Now stay tuned here itself. Now it's Rajeshwari ma'am will be taking further part. Till then, don't forget to solve 9 PM test today. That is for the non-pharma part. And next is our pharma part tomorrow 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay. Till then, take care. Thank you so much. Stay here only. Rajeshwari ma'am will be connecting.
Good evening everyone. So hope you have written the exam well. Okay. So let us start our session, that is the questions related to the pharmaceutical analysis which you have already faced in your model paper 1 for the Tamil Nadu drug inspector exam, right? So already you have here the session related to Neelam ma'am. So this is about the next session is related to the our analysis topic. So in this analysis the questions are mostly related to the 20 questions you are going to face. Already you have faced it. Okay. So let us see the key points as well as with explanations we are going to have this session. So very first I want to see the messages actually. Okay. Very good evening everyone. Very good evening. Okay. So how did you write the exam? Vishnu, Shanvi, Shalini, how did you write the exam? Which statement about valency is correct? Okay, so valency means it is going to be depending on the outer shell electrons. It is going to be based on. So here what the options they have given, valency is always equal to the atomic number. Atomic number actually it is going to be different. Sometimes you are going to see the odd number as well as even number also, but based on the Pauli's exclusion principle, how the electrons are fitting into the orbitals, right? As well as valency represents the combining capacity of an atom, and valency is independent of the electronic configuration. Valency is always equal to the number of neutrons. Actually, if you see the first A and D options are wrong, so you can say that it is going to represent the combining capacity of the atom, right? So whatever the core electrons are there, whatever the valency electrons are there, mostly in the spectroscopy we are going to see the involvement of the valency electron. They are going to take part in electronic transitions. Okay, very important. Whereas in case of the NMR spectroscopy, the nuclei it is going to be involved. Okay, so let us go to the next question in the analysis. Which radioisotope is commonly used for diagnostic imaging of the thyroid? Okay, so we have already discussed about the topic, that is radioimmunoassay in our regular JDC classes. So in that already we have discussed about this question, right? So radioisotopes which are going to be used in order for the diagnosis purpose. So in this case what the options they have given for thyroid estimation, T3 and T4, right, which are very important. Cobalt 60, iodine 131, phosphorus 32 and sodium 24. Okay, so if you know correct answer, that is related to iodine 131 it is going to be used. Iodine 125 it is also available, but iodine 131 it is going to be having the proper identification characteristics related to this T3 and T4, thyroid 3 and 4 hormones. Okay, yes. Next, which type of radiation has the highest penetration power? As per the electromagnetic radiation, it is going to be considered penetrating power. That means highest energy or highest wavelength we are going to talk about. Highest energy only, right? With energy means it can penetrate. We also the same thing. Alpha, beta, gamma rays or positrons. So in the given options, which one is having the highest energy? That means the gamma rays, which are having the very lowest wavelength also. Okay, that means we are unable to see the even the spectra. So very very close, low wavelength we cannot estimate. Like that, gamma rays are going to be the first after the cosmic rays. We are going to see the energy that is going to be having this gamma rays. Okay, so then X-rays you are going to observe, then UV rays, visible rays, IR, microwaves. Okay, finally the radio waves we are going to see that. Okay, so energy and wavelength, as we all know, according to Max Planck equation, both are inversely related. Okay, and already you have given the model paper 1, and tomorrow you are going to face, or today, okay, today you are going to face the model paper 2. So for this you are going to have the non-pharma syllabus paper on today 14th August 9 p.m. as well as tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock you are going to have the model paper on the pharma syllabus. Okay, so don't try to miss this opportunity. Attempt all the exams related by entering the code, that is 𝑔𝑑𝑐𝑑𝑖. As you all know, you can go to the GDC app, GDC classes app, then click on batches. You need to enter the batch code, that is 𝑔𝑑𝑐𝑑𝑖. Okay, again tomorrow you are going to have the explanation session for this non-pharma syllabus on at 10 o'clock, whereas for the pharma syllabus evening 6 p.m. onwards, right? Okay, so let us go to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding the radioisotopes. Radioisotopes, whenever we are going to talk about in the radioimmunoassay, which are going to be helpful in the ligand binding. So let us see the statements here. They have the same atomic number but different mass numbers. Okay, right. They possess identical chemical properties to a large extent. They necessarily have different number of protons. Actually, whenever we are going to see the different types of the isotopes, okay, so they are going to have here 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3, as well as 1, 2 and 3. Because here if you observe the correct option for this, okay, so they are having the same atomic number, as we all know. Iodine 125, it is going to be there, 131 will be there, like this, but the atomic number whatever it is there, it is going to be the same thing, and identical chemical properties also it is going to possess to a large extent. Okay, but they have the different application properties. Chemical properties are going to be the same thing, but applications wise we are going to use them. So that's why we are the 1 and 2 options are right, whereas they necessarily have different number of protons. Isotopes means generally we are going to see the number of neutrons are going to be different, not in terms of the protons. Either either electrons or protons are contributing towards the atomic number only, but only the neutrons will be the different thing. Okay, so that's why option B, it is the right answer. Next, the most appropriate method for reducing the random errors. Okay, so errors are going to be causing the results in the outline session, so that's why we need to minimize the errors. Here what they are asking, the most appropriate method for reducing random errors in the volumetric analysis. Okay, so we have indeterminate errors as well as determinate errors also. Let us see the options here. Using a more concentrated solutions, performing repeated measurements and taking the mean, increasing the sample size and changing the indicator. Indicator if you change means that won't have any effect. Okay, but if you see the sample size, that means whenever you are going to observe small samples or large samples, then we are going to observe the proportionate errors. Okay, but random errors, we have so many types of the errors, constant errors, proportionate errors, and we are going to calculate all them in the form of absolute as well as relative errors. Okay, but random errors, that means they are going to occur without any knowledge. Okay, randomization process, whenever we are going to adopt that method, then we are going to observe these types of the random errors. So random errors, mostly these are the indeterminate errors also we can call it as. Okay, the minimization of the random errors also, it is somehow difficult than other types of the errors. So if you take the repeated measurements and taking the mean of average values, thereby we can minimize these random errors. Okay, so mostly in the volumetric analysis, if you take the concentrated solution also, that is not a solution to anywhere, nowhere the errors are going to be reduced by taking the concentrated solutions, as well as sample size is also the same thing. Okay. Next, the question number 71, if you see the match the following. Okay. So in the matchings, if you know at least one or two answers, you can guess the right option. Limit test. Okay. Chloride, sulfides as well as arsenic. What is the substance detected? Actually, as you all know, that is chlorides. Whenever we are going to see, what we are going to see? Barium sulfate turbidity, silver chloride turbidity and hydrogen sulfide reaction. So here I think the question it is going to be giving you the hint itself, right? In the chlorides as well as sulfates, wherever you are going to observe this, chlorides means silver chloride turbidity. For precipitation, it is going to be observed by titrating with the silver nitrate, or by adding the silver nitrate, you will get the silver chloride. Similarly, sulfates means if you add the barium chloride, you will get the precipitation of barium sulfate. That is also the limit test for the sulfates you are going to see. Whereas if you see the arsenic, okay, so arsenic it is going to be there whenever the hydrogen sulfide it is going to be, we are going to take it. That's the hydrogen sulfide separate Gscht apparatus, it is going to be used for the detection of this arsenic determination, right? So how many of you have given the right answer? Very good. Oh, so everyone has given the exam. Very good. I think so. In your titration, a result may be highly precise but inaccurate. Precise is, that means highly precision values it is going to be good, but inaccurate, that means which are not nearer to the true value. Then what could we call it as? Results are close to each other but far from the true value. Results are close to the true value but widely scattered. Results are both accurate and precise. Random error is completely absent. No, here error wise we don't talk it. Only we are talking in terms of the precision and the accuracy. So results are close to each other but far from the true value. Okay, that means then only we can say that the results are inaccurate, right? If these are repeatable, n equal to 6 or n equal to 12 if you are going to take, so even though they are outlying, that means without that means out of the acceptance criteria also, they are precise. Repeatedly these results are coming with the same values, 80, 81, 82 like that, same repeatable results you can obtain, but these are very far from the accuracy values, that means the true value which is 100%, right? So in this case, what is the right option? A, that is going to be the suitable one here. Next, which of the following is a primary standard substance which are going to be used for the standardization of the secondary standard solutions? What the options they have given? Sodium hydroxide, hydrochloric acid, potassium hydrogen phthalate and potassium permanganate. So definitely you might have kept the option potassium hydrogen phthalate, PHP we are going to talk it, right? We are going to call it. This PHP it is going to be useful in not only in the acid base titrations, for the NaOH we can use it for the standardization as well as for the KMnO4 also. Okay, so there also you are going to use this PHP. Such a highly useful primary standard, this the potassium hydrogen phthalate. Okay, next statement related question. Assertion, what is that? Significant figures indicate the precision of a measured quantity. Significant figures after the decimal, if you take this like this, so how many significant figures are there? All digits in a measured value including certain zeros contribute its significant figures. Okay, actually if you see this after the certain number, if zeros are there, then they don't have any value. So but before, after the decimal or whatever it is there, if you see those values, so definitely if you see like this 203 like this, so all these digits are going to be the significant values. But if you observe 20300, so in this case only 203, up to that only the significant figures you can count it. Okay, so that's how it is, the statement is showing that. So both A and R are true and are correctly explaining. So R, what it is telling? All digits in the measured value including certain zeros, okay, that means which are after the decimal like this you are going to see, but these two zeros are not considered. Okay, even though they mentioned include the significant figures as well as rounding off rules for the 4 digits or 5 digits, then you can consider this. Okay. Next, which inorganic compound is primarily used as an osmotic laxative? Laxative it is going to be used. Which of the inorganic compound? So all these are the inorganic: magnesium sulfate, magnesium trisilicate, aluminum hydroxide and calcium carbonate. But as we all know that magnesium sulfate, it is going to be generally used as a laxative. Okay. So osmotic laxative. Yeah. Okay. 74th question. Yeah, A is the right answer. Okay. 75th, if you see, the magnesium sulfate, it is going to be used as a laxative. We are going to use it in so many types of the syrups also. Okay. Next, which combination is correctly matched? Okay. That means the applications wise they are asking: zinc oxide, protective and astringent; boric acid, systemic antacid; sodium fluoride, expectorant; and magnesium hydroxide as a dental abrasive. Wherever you are going to observe this zinc oxide, that is going to be used in the normal prickly heat powders also. Okay, so they are going to use this along with the talc. They will use this zinc oxide in the prickly heat powders. And this zinc oxide, it is going to have this astringent as well as protective property. This one we know very well. But this boric acid, as such it is an acid, it is not a systemic antacid, it is not going to be used. Okay. So all the applications, if you see, these are irrelevant. So which combination is correctly matched? That means the zinc oxide. Okay. Next, which dental product is mainly used to prevent the dental caries by enhancing the resistance of enamel to the acid attack? So whatever the enamel on our teeth, it is there. So it is quietly exposed to the number of acids which are present in different types of the beverages or whatever the food we are going to take it. So the dental product which can prevent that tooth caries, whatever the tooth caries it is going to be forming by enhancing the resistance of this enamel. What is that? Zinc oxide, sodium fluoride, calcium carbonate or hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide anyhow we don't use it, but only the thing here, zinc oxide, it is going to be used for the normal external applications. Okay. So calcium carbonate means very insoluble substance, we know that. So the remaining sodium fluoride. Okay. So I think hope everyone has given the right option for this. Very good, Vishnu. Next, which reagent is commonly used in the limiters for the sulfate? Already in the matching we have seen that test, sulfate, barium chloride, it is going to be used. So that barium sulfate, it will form as a precipitate, right? So here barium chloride, it is going to give the barium sulfate which is a precipitate, whereas silver nitrate, for the chlorides we are going to use it. Okay. Next, arrange the following steps of typical volumetric analysis in the correct sequence. Okay, correct sequence you are going to arrange this. First of all, what we are going to do? Preparation of the sample solution, then standardization of the titrant, or here in these two actually you need to get confused. First of all, what we do? Standardization of the titrant. Okay, then preparation of the sample solution, then we do the titration. Afterwards the endpoint detection it is going to we will have. But here if you observe whether we are going to prepare the sample for the standardization process or not. Actually sometimes standardization of the titrant, it is going to be done only for the secondary standard solutions. Okay. So that's why first of all they are going to take the standardization of the titrant. Afterwards you need to proceed for the sample. That means whatever the analyte we are going to do the for the next whatever we are going to use it as a titrant, with that we will do this titration. Okay. So that is the meaning. Little bit confusion, but this is the right option. Okay. Next, which of the following is an example of a systematic error? Okay, systematic error. That means with determination, with the determinate error we can able to find out this systematic error. Fluctuation in the burette reading, random variation in the endpoint detection, incorrect calibration of the analytical balance, or variation in the repeated titration. Definitely systematic means the instrumental variations are going to come around. So you are going to observe the, if any types of the errors occur with the instruments. Okay, not only the calibration, incorrect calibration of the analytical balance. Here they are mentioning about the balance. Okay, whether it is related to the maintenance also, or whether the installation also, whatever it is there. So the instrument related, whatever the errors are going to occur, we can call it as the systematic errors. Whereas burette readings in the endpoint detection and the repeated titrations means we are doing that. Personal errors, these comes under the category of the personal error, right? This is an instrument, so definitely that is going to be the systematic error. Okay, next. IR spectroscopy can be used to distinguish between compounds having different functional groups. This is statement related question. If you observe this, IR spectroscopy, distinguish between the different functional groups. Yes, definitely that is the right answer. Different chemical bonds exhibit the characteristic vibrational frequencies. So based on the types of the functional groups only, we are going to observe the different functional groups, right? So both statements are right. That means this reason it is correctly explained. So both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of the A. Definitely it is the first option, it is going to be the suitable one, right? And 82, we are at the question number 82. The monochromator in the UV visible spectrophotometer is used to. Monochromator, what is the purpose of monochromator actually? It is going to convert polychromatic radiation to the monochromatic radiation, such that we are going to use the specific wavelength to determine the compound, right? So here what are the options they have given? Detection of the ions, select a narrow range of the wavelengths, increase the sample concentration, or measure the sample mass. Actually, if you observe the wavelength, whenever we are hearing the word itself, the monochromator is related to that particular wavelength. So if you see this word itself means you can select this answer. Okay. So whatever the specified wavelength, only 246, only 346, like that specified wavelength, it is going to be selected by this monochromator. Okay. Next, which of the following statements are correct? Okay. Primary standard should possess high equivalent weight to minimize the weighing errors. Yes, this statement it is 100% right. Always the primary standards are expected to have the more molecular weights or equivalent weights. Okay, thereby the weighing process or whatever the problematic with the handling issues can be minimized, and stability wise also. Hygroscopic substances can be used as primary standards if stored in desiccator. No, hygroscopic substances can be used as a secondary standards, not primary standards. Okay, so primary standards means they don't have any issues. Only the secondary standards will have some of the issues with that, such that we can use them after the standardization process. So statement 1 is true, but statement 2 is wrong. Okay, so in this case everyone has given the right answer. Sanvi has given the C, right? Statement 1 is true, statement 2 is false. Yes, you are right, Sanvi. Very good. Next, radioimmunoassay is based on highly specific interaction. Radioimmunoassays are going to be performed by ligand binding. So in this, highly specific interaction between what? Between the interaction it is going to take place, the binding is going to take place, whether antigen or antibody, metal and ligand, acid and the base, solvent and the solute. Always radioimmunoassays are based on the biological methods only. So antigen and the antibody, labeled antigen, unlabeled antigen, both are going to be used, and like iodine 125, 131, like that, whatever the labeled antigen it is there, whenever we add in vitro to that particular sample solution, so after addition of the antibody, they will get binding to that. Okay, so antigen and antibody. Option A, it is the right answer. Next, atomic absorption spectroscopy is based on the absorption of radiation. Atomic absorption spectroscopy. So that is also going to occur at the ground state or neutral atoms actually, right? So here what they are asking is based on absorption of the radiation by ground state free atoms. Yes, neutral atoms. Molecules in the solid state, no. Here we are going to aspirate the solution. So definitely it should be the solution form. Ions in the crystal lattice, solvent molecules, no. Actually, if you see the option A, that is going to be the perfect answer for this, okay, because these three are not at all suitable for that. Next, so ground state free atoms or neutral atoms, we can call it as. We are going to use the radiation, so these atoms are going to take up that. Afterwards, the volatilization of the solvent, dissociation of the ions, everything it is going to take place. Next, 86, refractometry. Okay, refractive index. It can be used in the pharmaceutical analysis. Yes, definitely it can be used. And refractive index can provide information about the identity or concentration, yes, of certain substances. Definitely. That's why RI detectors, refractometry, it is also going to be used as RI detectors, which are the bulk property detectors. We can use it in the chromatography also. Okay. So both A and R are true, and this R correctly explains the A, right? So option A, it is the right answer. Next, regarding the KMnO4, what is the following statement? What is the following statement we need to consider regarding this KMnO4 titration? Potassium permanganate acts as own indicator or self indicator. We have already studied that self indicator, internal indicator, external indicator. So KMnO4 is one of the self indicator. Okay, this statement it is right. And statement 2, KMnO4 solution is standardized against the sodium thiosulfate. Sodium thiosulfate, or it is going to be used, actually KMnO4 itself, it is an oxidizing agent, and we are going to standardize that by using the oxalic acid or potassium hydrogen phthalate. Okay, so any one of them we can take it, but sodium thiosulfate, it is not going to be used for the standardization of the KMnO4. So statement 2 is wrong. Okay, only one is true, right? Right, Sanvi? 87, option C, not D actually. Yes, Mohan Priya, you are right. Very good. Any confusion in that? What the option actually D? 1 is false, 2 is true. Actually 1 is true and 2 is false. KMnO4 can be standardized by using the primary standard PHP, potassium hydrogen phthalate or oxalic acid. Okay. Next, the instrument used for the colorimetric titration primarily. Colorimetric means generally we are going to take the help of the electrochemical properties, right? So definitely in this colorimetric methods like KF titration as well as this conductometry, all those things we are going to take it. Here it is going to measure what? Volume of titrant consumed, quantity of the electricity required to generate the titrant, change in the refractive index, change in the optical rotation. Actually these two are not related to the electroanalytical methods. Only you may get confusion in between A and B. So actually volume of the titrant consumed, that is secondary thing, not primary measurement. It is going to be based on the quantity of the electricity required to generate the titrant. So how much volume of the titrant it has consumed, that we will consider it afterwards. But whatever the electrical property it is there, that is the most important thing. So here option B, it is the right answer, right? Yes. Next, NMR spectroscopy primarily involves the interaction of nuclei. NMR spectroscopy, it is going to involve nuclei. That means the core electrons are going to be involved, in which the under the magnetic field, if we apply the radio frequency as energy, then the excitation it is going to take place. Okay. So here the options, if you see, the radio frequency radiation in the magnetic field, yes, that is the right answer. Visible light, infrared radiation, X-ray. So NMR, whenever we are talking, means RF, radio frequency, radio waves are going to be used under the magnetic field. Okay. So option A, it is the right answer. Hope everyone has put the correct answer for this. Okay. Next, we are at the question number 90. Consider the following statement related. Okay. Nephelometry. It is generally more suitable than turbidometry for measuring low concentrations. Yes. Definitely nephelometry, it is going to be used for the low suspension, low concentration suspensions. Even though both are based on this scattering of the light, but whenever the concentrations are less, then nephelometry it is used. When the concentrations are more, then turbidometry it is going to be used. Okay. Nephelometric measurements commonly involve detection of the scattered radiation. Yes, definitely. The scattered radiation only it is going to be, we are going to measure in case of the nephelometry, because suspensions are there. Okay, suspended particles are going to have. And turbidometric measurements are based primarily on the decrease in the transmitted radiation. Okay, because here turbidometry, if you are going to see the angle of light radiation where we are going to measure the detector angle, that is at the 180 degrees. Whereas in case of the nephelometry, it is 90 degrees. Okay, so here if you see the turbidometry, it is somehow related to the colorimetry, visible spectroscopy. Okay, so where the transmitted radiation it is going to be considered. Okay, so this is also the right statement. Particle size and shape can influence the intensity of the light scattering, because here the particles size and shape, definitely they are going to influence the light scattering, because of the presence of the particles only the light gets scattered in different directions. It is not absorption, it is not somehow reflection, only scattering. Okay, it is going to take place. So definitely particle size and shape are also very important. That's why suspensions. So suspensions are going to be used in case of this nephelometry as well as turbidometry. Okay, right? So everyone has given the right answer. Okay, Karthi has given the option B. No, actually option D it is the right answer, Karthi. Okay, someone has given the A. No. I think everyone, only who has given the right answer? Mohan Priya. Very good. Because all these are the right statements. Okay. Next. According to 𝐵𝑠 law, absorbance is directly proportional to 𝐵𝑠 law, as we all know, A equal to epsilon into L into C. Right. So definitely the absorbance it is directly proportional to path length as well as concentration. So option B, that is a right option here. Wavelength, temperature, refractive index, those are not considered here. Next, concentration and path length, option B it is the right answer. HPLC differs from the conventional liquid chromatography mainly because HPLC uses, that means normal column chromatography. Okay, wherever you are going to observe, that is a different thing, but in the HPLC we are going to use the columns. Okay, pre-packed columns we are going to use it, and in this we are going to use the mobile phases which are either in the reverse phase mode or normal phase mode. Okay, let us see the options. High pressure to drive the mobile phase, yes, this is the right one. Only gases, no, actually that is considered as GC. No stationary phase, radioactive solvents, no. So option A it is a right answer. High pressure to drive the mobile phase. That's how we are going to consider this one as a HPLC, high pressure liquid chromatography, or otherwise high performance liquid chromatography also. Okay, we can call it as. Okay, mass spectrometry separate the ions according to their mass spectrometry, in which we are going to use the high energy electrons. Okay, electron bombardment it is going to take place, thereby the ionization it is going to occur. So those ion to mass, that means whatever the ions these are going to be produced, they will have certain mass. So only the charged particles will have the kinetic velocity and they will move to the under the magnetic field towards the detector. Okay, so that's why mass to charge ratio, that is going to be the important thing. If there is no charge, then it won't travel in that particular spectrophotometer. Okay, not photometer, spectrometer, because then there is no light it is going to be used in the mass. Okay, so option B it is the right answer here. Next, gel electrophorese. Okay, it is particularly useful for the separation of gel electrophorese. Whenever we are going to use it, high molecular weight compound gels are going to be used there. So definitely if you see, for the separation of proteins and the nucleic acids, high molecular weight compounds are going. Gel permeation chromatography or gel filtration chromatography, like this also we are going to use it. So volatile hydrocarbons, inorganic gases, simple sugars. No, not like this. We are going to do the separation of proteins and the nucleic acids, high molecular weight compounds. We can separate them by using this gel electrophoresis. Okay. Next, the usual wavelength region of UV spectroscopy. Usual wavelength electromagnetic radiation, we know that first cosmic rays, then gamma rays, then X-rays, afterwards the UV rays. UV rays generally we know, and we do so many experiments also in our laboratory on this UV spectrophotometer. So as you all know, the right option here it is 200 to 400 for UV. For visible means up to 800 we can take it. Okay. Consider the following. Question number 96. In potentiometric titration, the endpoint is determined from the change in the electrode potential. Okay. So definitely endpoint it is going to be determined based on the potential only. EMF, electromotive force, right? So potentiometric difference it is going to be measured. So this is the right statement. Potentiometric titration does not require a visual indicator. Yes, it doesn't not require indicator. If indicator it is available, then we will go with the manual titration. Automatic auto titrators don't require any indicators. Yes, this is also right statement. A reference electrode provides a stable potential against which the indicator electrode potential can be measured. Yes, this is also right answer. Stable potential it is going to be there for the reference electrode. It won't change its potential. Okay, then only it is called as reference electrode. Next, the magnitude of electrode potential is independent of the composition. Actually, it is going to be depending. Composition of the solution it is also very important. Based on the type of the analytes only, we will decide which type of the electrodes are going to be suitable. Not always the silver chloride and all these types of the other whatever the electrodes are there. Okay, we are going to depend on the type of the sample also. So S is wrong answer actually. Remaining three are right. Okay, so P, Q, R, all these three are correct, whereas S is not the correct statement. Okay, so option A. Very good. Everyone has given the right answer. Okay. Who has given the D? Karthi. Why? 96 is the A answer. You got confused? Okay. Non-aqueous titration, glacial acetic acid is commonly used as. That means in the non-aqueous, mostly we are going to use the acetic acid as solvent only. But whether it is protophilic or protogenic, always it is a protogenic solvent, right? It donates the H plus ions, protogenesis. So, okay, in the options, oxidizing agent, differentiating solvent, reducing agent, precipitating agent. Actually, in the non-aqueous, if you see, all these three are irrelevant. Only the differentiating solvent. It is going to acting as a differentiating solvent. In the non-aqueous titrations, we are going to observe two types, differentiating and leveling. Okay, so leveling effect it is going to be observed, which makes the weak acid to the strong acid, and leveling effect it is going to be exhibited by the bases. Okay, whereas differentiating solvents, this property is going to be exhibited by the acids. Okay, so option B it is the right answer. Next, which detector is particularly sensitive to compounds containing the halogens? Whenever halogens are present, we are going to use a specific detector in the GC. But generally, if you observe in the GC, the most widely used detector, that is a flame ionization detector, widely used detector. Okay, but halogens are present, then we don't use this flame ionization. That is going to be based on this electron capture detector. Okay, and option B it is going to be the right answer. Whenever halogens are present, go with the electron capture detector. Next, gravimetric analysis is based primarily on the measurement of gravimetry. As we all know, the mass or molecular mass or weight of the compound, it is going to be very important. So here options, if you see, absorbance, electrical resistance, mass of the substance, fluorescence intensity. So definitely everyone will put the right answer for this, right? Mass of the substance. Okay. Next, a commonly used stationary phase in the reverse phase HPLC. HPLC can be operated in two modes. that is a normal phase as well as reverse phase, right? So a commonly used stationary phase in the reverse phase HPLC, C18 bonded silica, cellulose paper, alumina powder only, molecular oxygen. Whenever we are talking about the reverse phase means RP-HPLC, okay. So where the stationary phase it is non-polar, that means whatever the polar silica it is there, that we will or whatever the column manufacturer is there, they will modify the polar stationary phase to non-polar by bonding the liquid phases, okay. Those bonding phases are going to be attached like this, cyano columns, phenyl columns, okay, C8, C18, butyl columns like that, C4 also they are going to attach. So they are going to attach these liquid bonding phases to the silica surface, okay. So thereby the partition, it is the principle of separation, we are going to see that, because here these are also liquid phases and mobile phase is also liquid. That's why it is called as reverse phase HPLC. So here in the option C18 silica, bonded silica, it is the stationary phase, we are going to use it in the reverse phase HPLC, okay. Next, which of the following statements are correct regarding the polarimetry? Okay, polarimetry also we have discussed. Let us see the statements now. Measure the angle of optical rotation. Yes, definitely. It is applicable to optically active substance. Okay. So, levorotatory or dextrorotatory, only such samples we can estimate. Specific rotation can be calculated using this polarimetric measurement. Yes, specific rotation. At specific temperature and the wavelength, we can determine the specific rotation, where this is also right. Depends on absorption of the radiation by the ground state atoms. Actually here ground state, excited state, all these are not involved, okay. So that's why here if you see the options, only first three are correct statements. Ground state atoms are not going to take up this absorption of the ground state atoms, that is not going to involve here, okay. So whatever the rotation it is there, that is going to be based on that polarization, plane polarized light, how it is turning towards either clockwise direction or anti-clockwise. No absorption of the radiation we are going to observe here. So S is not the right answer, only P, Q and R, right. So A option it is the right answer. Yeah, very good, everyone has given the right option for this. Next, question number 102. Adsorption indicators are employed in the Fazan's method. Yes, this is the right statement. The endpoint appears before the equivalence point. Yes, that is also the right answer. Always the endpoint we are going to observe after the equivalence point. Okay, so here what they have given, endpoint appears before. No, here after. Once the equivalence point has been attained, then the excess ml of the titrant we are going to observe the endpoint. So in this case, first statement it is right, whereas second statement it is wrong, right. Okay, so here adsorption indicator, no, it is the endpoint appears before the equivalence point, that is the wrong statement actually. Only first statement it is the right answer. This is only the right, this is not the right answer, okay. Yes, C is the right answer. Yes, very good. Vishnu has identified the correct option. Next, in complexometric titration, EDTA generally reacts with the metal ions. Always, it is actually the beauty of EDTA such that even though it has the 6 lone pair of the electrons on oxygen as well as nitrogen, but it is going to form the 1:1 complex, okay. So that's why it is a widely used chelating agent in the complexometric titration. So option A, it is the right answer. Next, increasing the particle size of the packing material generally decrease the efficiency. Increasing the particle size, okay. So particle sizes generally in the HPLC we will find 5 micron, 10 micron, 20 microns in normal HPLC. Nowadays we are going to observe the 1.7 microns as well as 3.5 microns also. So if you increase the particle size, what happen? Generally decrease the efficiency of the HPLC column. Yes, that is the right statement, okay. Increasing the particle size, whatever it is there, that means automatically efficiency, the number of theoretical plates are getting decreased, okay. So efficiency also decreases. Smaller packing particles generally provide high column efficiency but require high operating pressure. Yes, definitely this is also the right statement. Small particles, whenever we are going to use this small particles means automatically the pressure is getting more and more, okay, but they will give the high efficiency, okay. So according to the this plate theory as well as rate theory, if you observe plate theory, okay, so Van der Waals equation, whenever you are going to see H equal to A plus B by mu plus C mu, okay, so where we are going to see the height equivalent to theoretical plates, it is going to be depending on the particle size also, okay, and number of theoretical plates increases, automatically the efficiency also getting increased. But here they are talking about the particle size. If particle size decreases, automatically pressure increases, but the efficiency it is going to be more here. So both A and R are true here, okay. Next, 𝚾𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀, that means in case of the NMR spectroscopy they are talking. So in the NMR spectroscopy we are going to use a standard, internal standard, that is TMS, used as a reference compound in the proton NMR. Yes, that is the right statement. TMS gives a sharp signal and its protons are assigned a chemical shift at 0 ppm. Yes, because whenever you are going to observe the signal in the NMR spectroscopy, chemical shift, it is going to be taken as ppm level. So it will start from actually right to left, okay. This chemical shift can also be expressed as a tau scale also, where tau scale start from 0 to 10, okay, whereas chemical shift it is going to be starting from the right to left. Here we are going to take like this, okay, so highest you can like this you are going to see. So TMS peak, whatever it is there, it is going to be appeared at 0 ppm itself, because 𝚾𝙀𝙀𝙀, it is going to have all the equivalent hydrogens which are attached to this silica molecule, okay, all are equivalent hydrogens, so definitely they will give only one single sharp peak, because NMR, whenever you are going to observe, when there is a non-equivalence of hydrogens we are going to observe, then only the splitting of the signals you are going to observe, okay. So both are true and R is the correct explanation of the A, okay, first is the right answer, okay. So your next session is going to be followed by Ashok sir, okay. So any doubts are there, you can ask for any of the question you have seen. So my session it is over. Now I will hand over this session to Ashok sir, okay. Still if you want to know any questions, you can ask me.
Very good evening, champions. How are you, all of you? I hope is it okay now. So really sorry for a small inconvenience and a small delay, but with huge energy and momentum, definitely we will take this session into a more profitable session in the form of MCQs with explanation and in the form of to getting the knowledge. I hope you are too busy with your preparation, so continue the same preparation, but don't leave this live sessions because definitely these live sessions will help you how to study the questions as well as how to answer the questions, especially by eliminating. Okay, so let's go into the session. So in this part, we will discuss pharmacology. So the starting question is here the phenomenon of the phenomenon administration of a drug resulting in cell receptor blockage. Cell receptor blockage is known as. So what is that? Is known as what is that? So tachyphylaxis, synergism, tolerance as well as idiosyncrasy. So the phenomena of administration of drug resulting in the cell receptor blockage, blocking of the cell receptor. Idiosyncratic means unknown reason. Tolerance means decreasing response towards the drug. Synergism means increase in action. Two drugs combine together to produce action. Tachyphylaxis, decrease in response. Tachyphylaxis means decreased response. That is tachyphylaxis, decreasing response. Continuous usage of same drug may produce tachyphylaxis, decrease in response. Okay, so this is regarding the next question. So what is the next question here? The next question is regarding the clinical trials. Next question is regarding the clinical trials. Definitely there is a chance you can get the question from this area. The phenomenon administration of drug resulting in the cell receptor blockage. Sorry for inconvenience. So leave the question. So just this is the one and this is the one. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 0. Phase 0. So regarding the phase 0 is also known as microdosing studies. Phase 0 also known as microdosing studies. And phase 1 commonly observed less people 20 to 80. And phase 2 will be the 100 to 500. And phase 3 will be the both efficacy and safety we can study. Both efficacy and safety we can study. So don't leave this question. A small occurrence is there. And answer is the option A. So phase 1 20 to 80. By seeing the answer, nothing but by seeing the table itself you can do the answer. So phase 1 20 to 80 people and phase 2 that is Q3. So phase 2 both efficacy and safety and R4. So R4 is nothing but a large population and S2 phase 0 S2 is the 100 to 500. Generally phase 0 is also known as microdosing study. Phase 0 also known as microdosing study. And moving to the next question. I hope are you there already? Are you responding? Yes, very good, very good. Good evening, good evening. I hope now all things are fine. And next is here, which one of the following is an antidote for organophosphorus poisoning? So organophosphorus poisoning, like organophosphorus compounds like malathion, parathion, ecothiophyte, these are organophosphorus compounds. When these organophosphorus compounds are entered into the body, they inactivate the acetylcholine esterase enzyme and severe increase in the acetylcholine level. So the drug of choice for organophosphorus poisoning is sodium thiosulfate, pralidoxime, physostigmine, naloxone. So naloxone is a opioid receptor antagonist used in treatment of opioid overdose. And physostigmine naturally from the plant source, Physostigma venenosum, contain indole alkaloid, belong to the family Leguminosae. Physostigmine a parasymptomatic, inhibit acetylcholine esterase enzyme. Pralidoxime, containing highly nucleophilic group oxime. This highly nucleophilic group oxime used to reactivate the acetylcholine esterase enzyme. Helps in treatment of organophosphorus poisoning. 108C. Very good. You are not only responding, you are giving the your option, your answers along with the question. That's good. That's good. Vishnu, very good. Answer is pralidoxime. So Mohana Priya. Answer is pralidoxime, enzyme deactivator. Next question. Drugs used for rare disease are known as orphan drugs, rare drugs, over-the-counter drugs, emergency drugs. So emergency drugs, over-the-counter drugs, rare drugs, orphan drugs. Question is this question is commonly repeating in all type of GPAT, NIPER, drug inspector exam. So the simple answer is you already know that. If you are following the GDC classes, you already know the answer. Simply orphan drugs. Remember, orphan drugs. Next question. What is the next question? The abundant inhibitory neurotransmitter found in the central nervous system. Abundant, most, high percent. Gamma glutamyl transferase, gamma linolenic acid, gamma aminobutyric acid. None of these. Questions are very simple. Hopefully, like this easy questions, you also going to get in your drug inspector, and surely you will qualify as a drug inspector. Very good, Shruti. The answer is correct. Yes, the answer is very simple here. That is gamma aminobutyric acid, simply GABA. GABA is a highly inhibitory neurotransmitter in the central nervous system, both brain as well as spinal cord. It produces a inhibitory postsynaptic potential. It produces a inhibitory postsynaptic potential. It produces inhibitory signals in the central nervous system. And glycine also one of the major inhibitory neurotransmitter of CNS, but glycine is mostly present in the spinal cord only, but GABA present in both brain as well as spinal cord. And here the model paper 2, that is so like paper 1 non-pharma syllabus and paper 2 will be the pharma syllabus. So pharma syllabus is again discussion on the 15th August 200 question. The time is test time. Here is a test time 8 a.m. and here it is a test time already, that is today one. Next. So next discussion regarding the drug is used as a sedative and anti-epileptic. Drug can be used as a sedative, can produce sleep, help in treatment of insomnia, can be an anti-epileptic, helps in treatment of epilepsy. Epilepsy is nothing but convulsions, excess firing of neurons. Morphine, analgesic, bind to opioid receptor. Opioid receptors are G-protein coupled receptors. Thebaine, one of the chemical constituent from the opium derivative itself. Quinine, anti-malarial drug. 𝘂𝙎𝙎 is active regarding the quinine. Diazepam. Diazepam can be a sedative as well as a sedative as well as anti-epileptic. Yes. Triple one is D. Very good. Saraswati, good. Super. Keep going. So diazepam can be a sedative. Diazepam can be an anti-epileptic. Diazepam can be an anxiolytic, helps in treatment of anxiety. Diazepam is centrally acting skeletal muscle relaxant. Centrally acting skeletal muscle relaxants. Answer is diazepam. Very good. And get ready for the next question. The drug which will inhibit MAO-B irreversibly and helps in treatment of Parkinson disease. Salicylic, bromocriptine, pargolide, amantadine. So amantadine also drug in treatment of Parkinsonism, but amantadine enhance the release of dopamine. Pargolide, dopamine receptor agonist. Bromocriptine, dopamine receptor agonist. Salicylin, rasazelin. Salicylin, rasazelin irreversibly inhibit MAO-B enzyme and helps in treatment of Parkinsonism. Very good, very good. Shruti, correct. Saraswati, yes, correct. And also Murthy, also correct. Yes, Mohana Priya, correct. Very good. Keep going. Keep going. Your preparation is going well. And don't saturate. Continue the same preparation with the same attitude, with the same mindset. Last this days also. And your mindset is always be confident. Your mindset is going to determine your upcoming examination result. Don't forget that. Next question. Regarding the next question, the mechanism of action of chloridine is mediated by which of the following receptor? Clonidine, clonidine, alpha methyl dopa, centrally acting antihypertensive drugs. Centrally acting antihypertensive drugs. So alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2. Beta 2 present on the lungs, beta 1 present on the heart, alpha 1 present on the blood vessel. So alpha 2 receptors present in the central nervous system. Alpha 2 receptors, also known as HER2 receptors, they present in the presynaptic receptor. When these HER2 receptors are activated, they inhibit the further release of noradrenaline. So, especially stimulation of this alpha 2 receptors in the CNS decrease the release of noradrenaline from central to periphery and decrease hypertension. Chloridine is a centrally acting antihypertensive drug that stimulates the alpha 2 receptors. Very good, very good. Super. Keep going. Moving to the next question. What is the next question? So, select the skeletal muscle relaxant that is commonly used for endotracheal intubation despite causing histamine release, potassium efflux from muscles, and cardiovascular changes. Histamine release. Histamine release is one of the common drawback of this neuromuscular blockers. The release of histamine is a idiosyncratic reaction, unknown reason. So drugs like pipecuronium, succinylcholine, pancuronium, cis-atracurium. All these are neuromuscular blockers, but remember, succinylcholine also known as a suxamethonium. Succinylcholine also known as a suxamethonium. This succinylcholine as well as suxamethonium are the drugs. These are depolarizing neuromuscular blockers. Succinylcholine is a depolarizing, and remaining pipecuronium, pancuronium, cis-atracurium non-depolarizing competitive neuromuscular blockers. They use it to block NM receptors. And neuromuscular blockers are nothing but a peripherally acting skeletal muscle relaxants. What is the answer? Your answer is no. So here the histamine release, potassium efflux from the muscles and cardiovascular change. So release of histamine, potassium efflux and cardiovascular changes are the common with succinylcholine. Succinylcholine is a depolarizing neuromuscular blockers. Initially bind to NM receptors as a partial agonist and slowly causes skeletal muscle relaxation. Very good, very good. Keep it up, keep doing, keep going. Super. Next. Digoxin acts on by inhibiting digoxin, a important drug in treatment of congestive heart failure. Digoxin naturally from the Digitalis purpurea, Digitalis lanata species, belong to the family Scrofulariaceae. So inhibiting sodium potassium ATPase, myosin light chain kinase, sodium chloride antipode, GLUT4, glucose transporter 4. What is your answer? Very good, very good. Super. Your answer that is correct. Digoxin acts on the sodium potassium ATPase enzyme. Digoxin inhibit the sodium potassium ATPase enzyme, increase the influx of sodium into the cardiac muscle, and that leads to increasing calcium influx, increase the calcium levels, increase the force of contraction of cardiac muscle, helps in treatment of CHF by increasing cardiac output. By increasing cardiac output. Yes, I am going little bit fast. You are also giving answers. Don't worry, but please be cautious. Focus here only. Please open your blood-brain barrier so the all things can readily enter into your brain. Don't worry. Next, which of the following type of shock is related to allergic reaction? Which of the following type of shock related to allergic reaction? Hypovolemic shock because of decreasing fluid volume, blood volume. Anaphylactic shock, severe allergic reaction. Septic shock because of sepsis to the blood. Neurogenic shock due to disturbance in the nervous system. Nervous system. Yes, yes, very good. Most of the people you are all giving the answers immediately. That's very nice. That's fine. Yes, anaphylactic shock, severe allergic reactions due to excess release of histamine. And anaphylactic shock is because of IgE. Remember IgE antibody. This anaphylactic shock or allergic reactions are type 1 allergic reactions, type 1 hypersensitive reactions. The first drug of choice, adrenaline. Adrenaline will be the drug of choice. Antihistamines, glucocorticoids also useful in treatment of this severe anaphylactic shock, severe allergic shock, severe allergic shock. And next question. What is the next question? Direct renin inhibitors used in management of hypertension like prazosin, candesartan, enalapril as well as L-scarin. So direct renin inhibitors used in management of hypertension. Direct renin inhibitors. So renin release inhibitors are beta blockers. Renin release inhibitors are beta blockers. Drugs like propranolol, they block beta 1 receptors on the juxtaglomerular cells of the kidney and decrease the release of renin. But if renin already present in the blood, that renin directly inhibited by, yes, you're already given the answer. 𝘿𝙂𝘋𝑗𝑟𝑖n. 𝘿𝙂𝘋𝑗𝑟𝑖n directly inhibit the renin present in the blood. But beta blockers are the drugs, they decrease the release of renin from the kidney. Beta blockers are renin release, decrease the renin release. L-carnin inhibit the renin present in the. The next question here. Class 4 antiarrhythmic agents are calcium channel blockers, potassium channel blockers, sodium channel blocker, potassium channel blocker, potassium channel openers. Class 4. Class 4 simply calcium channel blocker like verapamil, amlodipine, diltiazem. All these are calcium channel blockers. They comes under class 4 antiarrhythmics. They comes under class 4 antiarrhythmic agents. Next question. Sublingually used organic nitrate. Sublingually used organic nitrate like nitroglycerin, isosorbide 5 mononitrate, isosorbide mononitrate, both A and B. So sublingually used organic nitrate, nitroglycerin, glyceryl trinitrate. Yes, very good. The answer is nitroglycerin or trinitroglycerin placed sublingually, especially in treatment of angina, chest pain, especially in treatment of angina or chest pain, angina or chest pain. Next question. So what is the next question? Which antihypertensive drug is benzodiazepine calcium channel blocker? Benzodiazepine, chemically benzodiazepine, moxapril, moxonidine, diltiazem, phenoxybenzaimine. Phenoxybenzaimine is a irreversible non-selective alpha-1 alpha-2 receptor blocker. So benzodiazepine, benzodiazepine. Benzodiazepine is simply diltiazem, benzodiazepine, diltiazem. Yes. Next question. What is the next question? Which of the following drug possess antiplatelet effects like erythropoietin, like urokinase, desmopressin, clopidogrel? Which of the following drug possess antiplatelet effect? Erythropoietin. What is erythropoietin? Helps in production of RBC, erythropoiesis. Urokinase, fibrinolytic, antifibrinolytic, thrombolytic. Desmopressin, vasopressin agonist. Clopidogrel, antiplatelet drug. It blocks P2Y12R adenosine diphosphate receptors. P2Y12R adenosine diphosphate receptor. Clopidogrel, prasugrel, crangrel, ticagrelor. So answer is very clear. That is clopidogrel. Clopidogrel, prasugrel, they are antiplatelet effect by blocking P2Y12 receptor. Adenosine diphosphate receptors. Adenosine diphosphate receptors. Next question. What is the next question? All of the following are direct thrombin inhibitors except lepidin, ergotroban, fondaparinux, dabigatran. All of the following are direct thrombin inhibitors except. So options like lepidin, ergotroban, fondaparinux, dabigatran. So thrombin, nothing but prothrombin converts to thrombin. Thrombin helps in clot formation, thrombus. So exception will goes to the fondaparinux. Remember, fondaparinux inhibit the clotting factor 10, but dabigatran, ergotroban, lepidin, they are direct thrombin inhibitor and prevent the clot formation, nothing but thrombus formation. Thrombus formation. Next. So heparin activates following factors except. Heparin activates following factors except. So like 2A, 9A, 10A. What is the answer? Heparin inactivates, not activates here because heparin is an anticoagulant. So a small mistake. Heparin inactivates all of this except heparin inactivates. So activation this leads to clotting. But heparin is an anticoagulant. Heparin is a parental anticoagulant. Heparin, ionized in nature, large molecular weight, not suitable through oral route. That's why heparin prefer through subcutaneous or intramuscular, parental route only. So heparin inactivates all of the clotting factors. Exception will goes to the 7A. Heparin does not inactivate the clotting factor 7A. So there is an indication. A means activated clotting factors. Activated clotting factors. Very good. Very good. Rasi. I don't know the name. Don't take it back. Very good. Keep going. Next question. Which among the following is an orally acting antithrombin drug? Orally acting. Pyridine, lepidine, bivalirudin, dabigatran. So remember, here three drugs are same. Pyridine, lepidine, bivalirudin. Remember, HLB, HLB. HLB means like pyridine, lepidine, bivalirudin. HLB are parenteral direct thrombin inhibitors or antithrombin drugs. But dabigatran is not a parental. It is orally. It is orally. So pyridine, lepidine, HLB. These are thrombin inhibitors parenterally. HLB. But dabigatran is an oral antithrombin or thrombin inhibitor. Thrombin inhibitor. So next MCQ. Next question is nothing but matching. So estezolamide, chlorothiazide, spironolactone, triamterene. So just have a look here. What is the answer? D. C. Answer C. So let's see estezolamide. So regarding the estezolamide generally inhibit the carbonic anhydrase enzyme. Estezolamide inhibit the carbonic anhydrase enzyme. Chlorothiazide inhibit the sodium chloride transport. Okay. Let's see. You are telling that option C. So option C. One is So option C, one is S. Estezolamide inhibit the carbonic anhydrase enzyme, and two is chlorothiazide. Two is T, inhibit the electrolyte reabsorption in the distal portion of the ascending limb of loop of Henle. Distal portion of the ascending limb of loop of Henle. Loop diuretics, thick ascending limb of loop of Henle. Next, spironolactone. So spironolactone competitively block the aldosterone receptor, nothing but mineralocorticoid receptors. Next, 4 are triamterene, inhibit the active sodium secretion, decreasing potassium excretion in the distal nephron. So spironolactone, triamterene are potassium sparing diuretics. So triamterene directly blocks the sodium channels on the kidney epithelium. Spironolactone blocks aldosterone or mineralocorticoid receptors. Further continuation. So further continuation of what is the next here? In bioassay, potency of the unknown preparation is usually expressed. In bioassay, the potency of the unknown preparation is usually expressed relative to potency, vehicle, standard preparation, distilled water, placebo, potency, the amount of dose required by drug to produce its action. How much amount of dose required by drug to produce its action is a simply potency. So what is your answer? Yes, you are mentioning that option B is the answer. Standard preparation. So we have to know the potency of the standard preparation. We are comparing a standard preparation with our tested drug. Next, insulin bioassay commonly uses rabbit, mouse, guinea pig, frog. I hope you know the answer. The question is very easy. Yes, that's correct. That is mouse. Insulin bioassay commonly performed in the mouse. Insulin, peptide hormone, insulin binding to enzyme linked receptors, catalytic receptors regarding the types of receptors. Next. And insulin preparations are common for treatment of type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is a autoimmune diabetes. Next question. So read the following statements and choose the correct combination. All cell wall synthesis inhibitors are bactericidal as like penicillin, cephalosporins, monobactams, carbapenems. They inhibit the cell wall synthesis in the bacterium and cause bactericidal effect. Ethambutol is bactericidal in nature. No, ethambutol is the only anti-tubercular drug, first class anti-tubercular drug, bacteriostatic in nature. All antibacterial drugs that act on cell membrane are bactericidal. Aminoglycoside is a bacteriostatic in nature. No, aminoglycoside is a bactericidal. Aminoglycoside is a bactericidal. All antibacterial drugs that act on cell membrane bactericidal. Yes, ethambutol is not a bactericidal. Ethambutol is a bacteriostatic. And all cell wall inhibitors are bactericidal in nature. What is the answer? 128C. What is the C? P and R are true, Q and S are false. Very good. Q. Ethambutol is a bacteriostatic. And S. Aminoglycosides are bactericidal. Very good, very good. Super. You are giving answers for like these questions means you are in the full preparation. That's super. Keep going. Within soon, you are going to take charge as a drug inspector and believe in yourself and put your maximum efforts of these last days of preparation. What is the next question? The next question is here. Which of the following act by inhibition of 30S ribosome? Tetracycline, streptomycin, chloramphenicol tetracycline, erythromycin, amikacin, penicillin, clindamycin. I hope you already know that the basic thing 80, 30, at 30. A means aminoglycoside, T means tetracycline. These are the protein sense inhibitors acts by binding to 30S ribosomal subunits. Remaining chloramphenicol, erythromycin, clindamycin, all remaining protein sense inhibitors, they act by binding to 50S ribosomal subunits. Aminoglycoside tetracyclines acts by binding to 30S ribosomal subunit as a protein sense inhibitors, and remaining all protein sense inhibitors like chloramphenicol, macrolides, clindamycin, etc. They act by binding to 50S ribosomal subunit. Option is the right answer. Very good, very good. Shruti, Vishnu, Mohana, Priya, Shruti, Vishnu, Saraswati. Keep going, keep going. Again, the matching questions like these questions are very, very interesting. So, aminoglycoside, chloramphenicol, sulfonamide, quinolones. So, Steven-Janssen syndrome, commonly observed with the sulfonamides. Steven-Janssen syndrome, sulfonamides. So, chloramphenicol. Chloramphenicol is a gray baby syndrome. Gray baby syndrome. Aminoglycosides commonly phototoxicity. And quinolones is phototoxicity. Quinolones, phototoxicity. So, simply aminoglycosides, phototoxicity. Just a minute. Aminoglycosides, phototoxicity. Chloramphenicol, gray baby syndrome. Don't take chloramphenicol in the pregnant women as well and children. Sulfonamide, Steven-Janssen syndrome, a type of severe allergic reaction due to excess dosage of sulfonamides. Quinolones causes phototoxicity, especially lohmifloxacin. Lohmifloxacin. Okay, the answer is option A. Answer is option A. Very good, Saraswati and Shruti. Vishnu also. Good, too good. Next. Which of the following is long-acting sulfonamide? Sulfadiazine, sulfadoxine, sulfamethoxazole, sulfabetazole. Sulfadoxine, commonly used sulfonamide in malaria, anti-malaria drug. Sulfonamide in anti-malaria, nothing but treatment of malaria, sulfadoxine. What is the longest acting, having long duration of action from the sulfonamide? That is sulfadoxine. Sulfadoxine having long duration of action. Sulfadoxine is commonly used sulfonamide in treatment of malaria. Sulfadoxine is antibacterial as well as anti-malarial also, acts on plasmodium. Next. Which of the following is a third generation oral cephalosporin class? Third generation, cefoxitin, cefixime, cefotoxime, ceftriaxone. So they asked a third generation oral cephalosporin. So especially oxims, xims commonly belong to the third generation. But they asked here oral category of drugs 132B. 132B. Yes, your answer is correct. Cefixime is a third generation cephalosporin preferred through the oral route of administration. Next. Which of the following 4-aminoquinoline is used for malaria as well as rheumatoid arthritis and it causes reversible retinal damage? One of the following Drug is chemically 4-aminoquinoline. You already got the answer. It may help in treatment of rheumatoid arthritis in the form of a hydroxy derivative, but it commonly causes reversible retinal damage, optic damage. So chloroquine, pyrimethamine, mefloquine, amodiaquine, all these are anti-malarial drug. Simply chloroquine is a 4-aminoquinoline. It can help in treatment of rheumatoid arthritis in the form of hydroxychloroquine. It can cause a severe drawback, reversible. Once stopping the treatment with the drug, the side effect disappear. Reversible side effect means during the treatment, the side effect stop using the drug. No reversible. Reversible. Next, anthelmintic action of piperazine citrate interfere with ATP generation in the worm, blockade of glucose uptake by worm, hyperpolarization of nematode muscle by agonism of GABA action, depolarization of nematode muscle by activating the nicotinic receptor, piperazine citrate. Piperazine citrate. What is the mechanism of action of piperazine citrate? Piperazine citrate. So what is your answer?
Hello everyone. Good evening. I hope my voice is audible to all of you. Good evening. Am I audible? Chalo, let's discuss. Okay? Everything is fine? Right. Very good. Chalo, let's start. So, name of the culture media that is used for the testing of anaerobes. Peptone broth, glucose peptone broth, lactose peptone broth, या liver broth. For testing of anaerobes. Yes, answer this question. Just give me 1 second. The correct answer is option D. Okay, liver broth. So liver broth is basically used for the culture of testing of anaerobes. Next question. Fastidious organism must be grown on. Fastidious organism must be grown on synthetic medium, differential medium, general purpose medium, या enriched media. Tell me. Fastidious organisms. Fastidious organisms are those organisms, they basically grow in case of your enriched medium. Enriched medium. Okay. Chalo. Next question. Next question. The size and shape of the bacteria largely vary in the dimension of. So how the size and shape of the bacteria basically varies. So as all of you know, bacteria are basically known as what? They are known as microscopic organisms. What its dimension vary in the range? Yes, who will answer this question? It will going to start in the range between 0.75 to 4 micron. Okay, it is going to start between, it will be between 0.75 to 4 micron. Is this clear? Option C, very good. Option C is the correct answer. Chalo, next question. Which of the following is not a function of bacteria capsule? So capsule is the outer covering of the bacteria, which basically prevent it from the external shock and everything. Now you have to answer which is not, okay, which is not a functional characteristics. To protect against temporary drying by binding to the water molecule. Yes, it protects, it do this work. Next, to inhibit the engulfment of the bacteria by WBC, to promote the attachment of the bacteria to the surface, or to prevent the cell wall from expanding and bursting. Yes, answer this question. Which of the following is not a function of bacteria capsules? Tell me. So I told you bacteria capsule is the outer covering of the bacteria. What it does, it basically helps the bacteria to prevent from the external environment, just like from the drying, and to promote the attachment of the bacteria to surface. Okay, it is basically going to help the bacteria to attach to the cell surface. When it attaches, it basically take all the nutrient and prevent from the cell from expanding and bursting. So option B, it does not, capsule does not prevent from the engulfment by WBC. Okay, it all, yes, it inhibit the engulfment to prevent the cell from expanding bursting. Yes. So option D. Okay. So here option D is correct. To prevent the cell from expanding and bursting. No, it does not prevent the cell from either expanding or bursting. This is not the function of the capsules. Chalo, next question. Which of the following is a not true for endotoxin? So first tell me endotoxin. So endotoxin means it should be produced by, secreted by gram-negative bacteria. First point, produced by gram-negative bacteria. So this point is correct. It is a lipopolysaccharide in nature, heat stable, neutralized by antitoxin. Chalo, answer it. Which of the following is not true about endotoxins? Yes. Chalo, answer the question number 150. Answer the question number 150. Which of the following is not true for endotoxins? So endotoxins is produced by gram-negative bacteria. Yes, it is produced by gram-negative bacteria, and it is pyrogenic in nature, because I told you when I was discussing with you that this endotoxins when enter into our body, it basically gives you fever and other type of reaction. It is lipopolysaccharide. It is heat stable, but it neutralized by antitoxin. No, it does not neutralize by antitoxins. Okay, so here option D will be the correct answer. Okay, chal. Next question. So tomorrow from 8 a.m. your your okay, chalo. Which of the following is a non-toxin mediated cause of food poison? Okay, non-toxin mediated cause of food poison. E. coli, E. coli, Clostridium perfringens, Clostridium botulinum, या Norwalk virus. Non-toxin mediated cause. Yes, student, answer this question. Non-toxin mediated cause. E. coli, yes, it produces a toxin, okay, from which it can be causes. Clostridium perfringens, yes. Norwalk virus, okay. Norwalk virus it is a non-toxin mediated cause. Okay, it is a non-toxic mediated. So option D is correct answer. Okay. option D is correct answer here. 151D. Very good. Chalo. Next question. The etiological agent for the infectious mononucleotide are also associated with a form of Burkitt's lymphoma is varicella zoster virus, Epstein-Barr virus, picornavirus, or papilloma virus. Simple thing. If I will simplify this question for you, that is virus associated with causing cancer. So when a virus that is associated with cause cancer, that is from Burkitt's lymphoma, it is Epstein-Barr virus. Okay, it is Epstein. Option B is correct. Very good. Chalo. Next question. Chalo, next question. Which of the following is the best technique to sterilize the thermolabile and moisture sensitive material? Okay, thermolabile. That means if you give heat, that product will be damaged. And moisture sensitive. If it is what? If it is the product is moisture sensitive, how you will going to sterilize? Filtration sterilization, gas sterilization, dry heat sterilization, yes, steam sterilization. Thermolabile and moisture sensitivity. So either you can do filtration or gaseous, but filtrations it should have a liquid form. As it is moisture sensitive, it cannot be done. So gas sterilization you can. Okay, by gas sterilization you can do this. Chalo, next question. Okay, next question. In context of dry heat sterilization, TDT stands for is irreversibly proportional to the temperature. What is the full form of TDT? Now you have to tell what this TDT stands for. Temperature death target, thermal death target, thermal Derby's time, या thermal death time. This is very frequently we have discussed when we are discussing this your microbiology part. So TDT, that is thermal death time. Okay, TDT stands for thermal death time. Okay, so option D is correct answer. Okay. Yes, if it is thermolabile only, that can be filtration. But it is in the question it was thermolabile with moisture sensitive. That's why we use gaseous sterilization. Okay. Chalo, thermal death time. Very good. Chalo, next question. One of the following is not used in the surface sterilization process in plant cell culture. Identify it. Which is not used. So for the surface sterilization in plant tissue culture, so you have to do surface sterilization. So for that, gamma radiation is used, hydrogen peroxide is used, hydrogen peroxide, sorry. So hydrogen, sodium hypochlorite, yeah, benzalkonium chloride. Tell me. Yes, very good. Gamma radiation. Gamma radiation is not used. Gamma radiation uses sterilization for other things. So it is question is about surface sterilization. Sodium hypochlorite is used, hydrogen peroxide is used, and benzalkonium chloride. These three are used. But gamma radiation. Okay. So option A is correct answer. Okay. Chalo, next question. Which of the following antiseptics is commonly used for the surgical scrubs and for disinfecting the skin before surgery? Sodium hypochlorite? No, it is a surface sterilization. Ethylene chloride? No, this is a gaseous sterilization. Phenol? It is a disinfectant. But chlorohexidine? It is actually used. This chlorohexidine actually used. Okay, so option B is correct answer. Okay, Option B is correct answer. Next. Indirect ELISA, a standard monoclonal antibody is immobilized. A standard monoclonal antibody is immobilized on the solid support for detection. A standard polyclonal antibody is immobilized for the solid support detection. Antigen antibody complex is immobilized on a solid support detection. A standardized antigen is immobilized on a solid support for detection. Chalo, answer this question. For indirect ELISA. Yes. Very good. Option C. So antigen antibody complex that is immobilized on a solid support. Chalo. Next question. The following immunoglobulin, okay, the following immunoglobulin that cross the transplacental barrier and provides a maternal protection. Very common question and very direct question. Immunoglobulin that cross placenta. Very good. IgG. IgG is the immunoglobulin that cross placenta. Very good. चलो आगे चले. Next question. Which of the following does not provide a passive immunity? Does not provide passive immunity. Inactivated microorganism, humanized monoclonal antibodies, natural mother antibody transport to fetus, या antitoxin. So passive immunity means preformed antibody to be supplied. Preformed antibodies. Okay, but inactivated microorganisms are nothing but they are vaccines. They are vaccines. So vaccines not provide you passive immunity, but this will going to provide you active immunity. Okay, that's why option A is correct answer. Chalo. Next question. Which of the following is not a primary characteristics of generalized immune response? Okay, it is not. Okay, discrimination. Okay, specificity. Okay, amnesis. Okay, yeah, transferability by serum. Which is not a primary characteristics. So these three are the primary characteristics, but transferability by serum is not a primary characteristics. Okay, it is not a primary characteristics. Clear? Chalo. Next is your question from vaccine top. Chalo. Next. First question. Live attenuated vaccines are better immunizing agent. Okay, live attenuated vaccines are better immunizing agent. Why? Live attenuated vaccine requires multiple doses. Live attenuated vaccines can be given to a immunocompromised person. Replication of organism in a live attenuated vaccine increases the stimulation of the immune system and lowers the dose required. Yeah, all of the above. Live attenuated vaccine is important because it replicates easily inside the body. So that's why even in very low dose, it can easily show its activity. Okay. Chalo. Next question. Next, which of the following vaccines used as a adjuvant immunotherapy in cancer? BCG vaccine, DPT, TAB, AMOMS. Yes. So please remember your tuberculosis vaccine, TB vaccine is used along with your cancer chemotherapy. Okay. Cancer chemotherapy. So BCG will be the correct answer. The correct answer is BCG. Sure. Next question. Haemophilus influenza type B is a which type of vaccine? It is an example of subunit vaccine, toxoid vaccine, recombinant protein vaccine, या conjugate vaccine. Haemophilus influenza type B is basically a conjugate vaccine. It is a conjugate vaccine. So option D is correct answer. Next question. Shall answer it? Which of the following is a live attenuated dengue vaccine which containing weakened version of all four dengue virus serotypes? 𝘙003, Q dengue, IPV, BCG या hepatitis B? Which of the following is a live attenuated dengue vaccine containing weakened version of? So that is the correct answer is option A, 𝘙003, Q dengue. Okay. Chalo. Next question. Cyanocobalamin. Okay. Cyanocobalamin, that is vitamin B12, is analyzed by microbiological method using a which microorganism in the lab? Lactobacillus leishmaniae, Lactobacillus arabinus, Saricna lutea या Staphylococcus aureus? Vitamin B12 microbiological assay. Very good. Lactobacillus leishmaniae. Okay. So Lactobacillus leishmaniae is the correct answer. Chalo, next question. Which microorganism is typically used in the microbiological assay of tylosin? Okay, microbiological assay of tylosin. Your option is Staphylococcus aureus, Bacillus pumilus, Staphylococcus epidermidis या Bordetella bronchispectica. Tell me, what microorganism is typically used in the microbiological assay of tylosin? So if we'll talk about the microbiological assay of tylosin, Staphylococcus aureus is the microorganism. Okay, this is actually used for this. Sure. Next question. A diagnostic PCR. Okay, a diagnostic PCR gives a amplification in the patient sample, but not in the negative control. Okay, what does the most strongly indicate? Okay, the assay is automatically invalid. The application is consistent with the presence of target sequence. PCR cannot detect DNA. The sample must contain a RNA only. Yes. The correct answer is B. The application is consistent with the presence of a target sequence. Okay, this application is consistent with presence of a target sequence. Okay, chalo. Next question. Which organism is particularly associated with food poisoning? Okay, caused by presence of a heat-stable enterotoxin. Okay, which organism is particularly associated with food poisoning caused by presence of a heat-stable enterotoxin? Staphylococcus aureus, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, Peronema pallidum या Clostridium tita? For food poisoning, which one is basically used? For food poisoning, Staphylococcus aureus. Okay, Staphylococcus. No, 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 no. Clostridium tetani, no, it causes tetanus. This is not the option. Okay, Staphylococcus aureus. So option A will be the correct answer. Okay, clear? Option A will be the correct answer. Chalo, next question. Which vaccine is based upon a recombinant hepatitis B surface antigen? Hepatitis B vaccine, oral polio vaccine, BCG vaccine या MMR vaccine? Which vaccine is basically based on recombinant hepatitis B surface antigen? So the correct answer is hepatitis B vaccine. So hepatitis B vaccine is basically prepared from your hepatitis B surface antigen. Okay? Chalo. Next question. The presence of coliform organism in a properly treated drinking water supply is primarily indicate excessive hardness, possible fecal contamination or inadequate treatment, high chloride concentration, या high dissolvance. So first thing is, so if coliform bacteria is present, that means it is a indication of your fecal matter contamination. Okay, that actually leads to your cholera and other disease. Okay, so option B is correct answer. Okay, option B is correct answer. Chalo, next question. In challenge test for a preservative effect of preservative is maximum examine maximum up to 28 days, 14 days, 2 days, or 7 days. So this question is telling if you want to measure the uh, what I can call the preservative effect of a particular preservative. So how much time you should be examining? 18, 20 days, 14 days, 2 days, yes, 7 days. You should examine for at least 28. Okay, you should examine for at least 28 days. Very good. Option A is correct answer. So next question. Which of these following method is brings the cell lysis due to cavitation induced by a rapid localized pressure change? Microwaving, gamma irradiation, ultraviolet radiation, या sonic acid. So basically the question is which method causes cell lysis? So cell lysis is basically carried out by your sonic acid. It is carried out through the sonic acid. Very good. Chalo, next question. Pulmonary cavitation in secondary tuberculosis. Pulmonary cavitation in secondary tuberculosis occurs due to arterial thrombosis, alveolar transudate, bronchial hypertrophy, या liquefaction of caseous necrosis. Liquefaction of caseous necrosis. Tell me. Pulmonary cavitation. So pulmonary cavitation in secondary tuberculosis is associated with liquefaction causes necrosis. So option D is correct answer. Okay, option D is correct answer. Next, the preferred diagnosis test for herpes simplex encephalitis. Preferred diagnostic test for herpes simplex encephalitis is viral culture of blood, CSF PCR for HSV DNA, gram staining for cerebro CSF stands for cerebrospinal fluid. Yes, serum heterophile antibody test. Tell me. The correct answer is CSF PCR for HSV DNA. ठीक है? चलो. Next question. A patient has fever and chills, plans, pain, uh, gastrovertebral angle tenderness, and WBC cast in urine. The most likely diagnosis is acute pyelonephritis, acute cystitis, urethritis, or glomerular nephritis. What is the possible diagnosis? Yes, the possible diagnosis is acute pyelonephritis. The possible diagnosis is acute phylonephritis. So option A is correct answer. Chalo, next question. Which of the following disease can be classified as a zoonotic viral infection? Okay. Which of the following disease is classified as a zoonotic viral infection? Okay. Your option is typhoid, rabies, cholera, or gonorrhea. Yes, answer this question. It is called as rabies. Okay. So rabies is basically a zoonetical. Zoonetical means the viral infection basically comes from animal. Okay. From animal, this viral infection comes. Okay. Chalo, next question. Leptospirosis is a zoonotic bacterial infection commonly transmitted through the exposure commonly transmitted to human through the exposure of which of the following things? Water and soil contaminated with urine of infected animals, mosquito saliva, respiratory droplet, or raw fish only. Chalo, answer the question number 177. Answer the question number 177. Leptosporiasis. So leptosporiasis basically transmitted if human came contact with infected animal urine. Animal urine. So option A will be the correct answer. Okay. Chalo. Next question. A swage worker develops fever, severe myalgia, conjunctival suffocation, jaundice, renal failure after exposure to rat contaminated water. The diagnosis is hantavirus infection, leptosporiasis, brucellosis, or Q fever. Chalo, answer the question number 178. So this type of disease is basically called as leptosporiasis. Leptospirosis. Okay. So option B will be the correct answer. Okay. Option B will be the correct answer. Chalo, next question. Which of the following best describe the characteristic stool appearance associated with severe cholera? Severe cholera. If you have severe cholera, what is the characteristics of this case? Black stool, rice water stool, clay colored stool, or gray stool? Answer the question number 179. Black stool, rice water stool, clay colored stool, or gray stool? A green stool. The correct answer is rice water stool. So cholera, the specific appearance of your stool is called as rice water stool. Okay. Chalo, next question. If a woman has a thin grayish vaginal discharge, fishy odor, vagina pH is around 4.5 and clues of cell. Okay. The most likely diagnosis is bacterial vaginitis, dysuria, dysnoia, or dysmenorrhea. So this is a sign for bacterial vaginosis. Okay. Bacterial vaginosis. Chalo. So this completes your microbiology part. Now we will going to talk about your pharmacognosy. Okay. Camera lucida is an aid to an artist and microscopist, an early box camera, a type of rangefinder camera, yeah, none of this. Camera lucida. Yes, answer this question. Camera lucida is an aid to a artist and microscopes. Okay, so 181 option A is correct. Okay, chalo, next question. Which of the following is true for alkaloidal base? Okay, which of the following is a true for alkaloidal bases? Chalo. So first option, water solubility and organic solvent insolubility, water insolubility and organic solvent insolubility, water solubility and organic solvent solubility, water insolubility and organic solvent solubility. If we'll talk about a true alkaloid, it should water insoluble and organic solvent soluble. So option D is correct answer. Chalo, next question. Acid catalyzed or enzymatic hydrolysis of glycoside yields. Okay. Acid catalyzed or enzymatic hydrolysis of glycoside yields sugar and alcohol, non-sugar and acid, sugar and acid, या non-sugar and aldehyde. So if you have glycolysis on enzymatic hydrolysis, it will give sugar and alcohol. Okay, so option A is correct answer. ठीक है? Clear? चलो next question. Which among the following is a incorrect pair? Okay, is a incorrect pair. Diascorid, father of pharmacognosy, Hippocrates, father of experimental physiology, Sushrut, father of cosmetic surgery, Aristotle, father of natural history. Yes, incorrect pair. The correct answer is option B, Hippocrates. Okay, chalo. 184B, very good. Next question. What is the starting compound for cyclic acid pathway? So cyclic acid pathway is used for volatile oil synthesis. Now you have to tell which is the starting material. Okay. Choriamic acid, phenyl pyruvic acid, phosphoenol pyruvic acid, या citric acid. Tell me. Starting material for the cyclic acid pathway. Yes. The starting material for the cyclic acid pathway is your phosphoenol pyruvic acid. Option C. Very good. Okay. Option C is the correct answer. Very good. Chalo, next question. Ayurvedic preparation in the form of pills. Okay. In the form of pills are known as Leha, Ashabya, Gutika, ya Taila. Ya Taila. Form of pills. It is called as Gutika. Okay. If it is prepared in the form of pills or tablet, okay, we will call it as a Gutika. Okay. So option C is correct answer. Chalo, next question. Which of the following is a alkaloid is optically inactive? Chalo, very, very important question. Okay. Nicotine, conine, papaverine, या noscapine. Optically inactive alkaloid. Optically is papaverine. Very good, Vishnu. Very good. Okay. So option C is correct answer. Optically inactive is papaverine. Next, give the correct match of the following drugs and their category of alkaloid. Okay. So tell me, Curci, curare, lobelia, या aconite. Curci is a steroidal alkaloid. Curare is a isoquinoline alkaloid. Lobelin is a pyridine alkaloid. Aconite is a terpenoid alkaloid. So option B is the correct answer. Okay. Option B is correct answer. Next question. So you have to match the test. Okay. Mayer's test, Tagendrup test, Wagner test, Hager's reagent. So Mayer test is potassium mercury chloride. Dragon-Drup test, potassium bismuth. Wagner's reagent, your iodine in potassium iodide. Hager's reagent is picric acid. So option A will be the correct answer. Okay. Chalo, very good. Next question. Barbolin and senazide A can be categorized as C glycoside and O glycoside, O glycoside and C glycoside, C and N, या O and N. Chalo, answer it. Yes, question number 190. Barbaloin is a C glycoside and senazide is a O glycoside. Okay, so option A is correct answer. Okay, chalo, next question. Revandicin is the synonym of dalchini, rhubarb, cinnamon, या cardamom. Revandicin. Revandicin. Yes, answer question number 191. It is a synonym for rhubarb. Okay, it is a synonym for rhubarb. Chalo, next question. Which of the following drug is or are used as a antidepressant? Antidepressant. Hyperuricum, St. John Towards, millepertisis, yeah, all of the above. Used as a antidepressant. So drug that is used as an antidepressant is all of this. Hyperuricum is used, St. George words, and milleperids. This is also used as antidepressant. So option D is correct answer. Okay, understood? Chalo. Next question. Volatile oil containing bark. Okay. Volatile oil containing bark drug. Volatile containing bark drug is 193 question answer. Volatile oil is cinnamon bark. Okay. Cinnamon bark is a volatile drug, volatile oil containing bark. Chalo, next question. Citral is chemically sesquiterpenaldehyde, diterpenaldehyde, monoterpene aldehyde या monoterpene ketone. Citral. Citral is a monoterpene aldehyde. Citral is a monoterpene aldehyde. Chalo, next question. Fruit which are derived from the plant Umbelliferaceae are all the type. Umbelliferous plants are chemocarp, epicarp, pericarp या mesocarp. Yes. They are cremocar. Okay, they are cremocar. Chalo, next question. All of the followings about tannin is true except tannins are not participate by salt of tin and lead. It forms colloidal solution with water and non-crystalline substances. They are participate by chromic acid solution. They show color reaction with irons. Which you have to tell which is incorrect. Tannins are not precipitated by salt and tin and lead. It is precipitated. So option A is correct answer. Next question. The matchstick dipped in the tannin containing plant extract and heated after dipping in a hydrochloric acid gives a pink color due to the formation of fluoroglucinol, catechol, cinnamic acid or benzoic acid. Yes, answer the question number 197. Due to the presence of fluoroglucinol. Very good. Option A is correct answer. Next, in Gambir fluorescence test, the petroleum spirit layer shows a green fluorescence, blue fluorescence, yellow fluorescence, या red fluorescence. The trick you know na, G for Gambir, G for green. Okay, G for Gambir, G for green. Okay, so Gambir will give you green fluorescence. Okay, it will give you green fluorescence. Next question. Shellac is a resinous substances prepared from secretion that entraps the bodies of a scale insect. 𝘂𝙋𝘼𝙏, Carialaca, Aspenus horse या Alberitis mosquiferus. It is basically prepared from the secretion of Carialaca. Last question of this model paper. Okay, last question. Etoposide and teneposides are the semi-synthetic derivative of. Last question. Etoposides and teneposides are the semi-synthetic derivative of, yes, podophylotoxins. Okay, podophylotoxins. Okay, so this completes your first model paper. Okay, if you have any questions, so please ask. Otherwise, we will discuss the rest of the thing in the next part. Okay, so if no question is there, let's stop it here. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys have given very good response. So this basically 200 question practice you have done so nicely with us. So I hope this practice that you have given, you have done with us will definitely going to help you in your Tamil Nadu DI exam. Thank you.